Chapter 16, Synthetic Conflict. This feels like looking for ghosts, Mitchell said, adjusting her enhanced smart glasses. The VR and gaming level on deck 1.32 pulsed with holographic light displays and the excited shouts of off-duty personnel and residents enjoying immersive games. Jay nodded, scanning the crowd through his own glasses. The augmented reality overlay highlighted everyone with employee IDs, clearance levels, and biometric readings, a kaleidoscope of data points swimming across his vision. Ghost hunting might be more productive. At least people claim to see those. They'd been at it for hours, moving methodically through public areas of both stations, searching for the nearly impossible, synthetic humans impersonating station personnel. The smart glasses had been specially modified by Connor's team to detect minute inconsistencies in biometric signatures that might indicate non-human origin. "Remind me why we think there might be synthetics on board?" Mitchell asked as they paused near a virtual combat arena where two engineers were enthusiastically battling digital dragons. "We don't, not really," Jay admitted, but Dr. Jackson insisted we rule it out. Given the level of infiltration we've already uncovered with these surveillance devices, we can't dismiss any possibility, however remote. Mitchell gestured toward a group of tourists taking selfies with a holographic Saturn looming behind them. 4 hours, 2 stations, and not a single anomalous reading. Either there are no synthetics or they're better than our detection methods. Which would be concerning in itself. But I agree, this is starting to feel like futility. His implant chimed with an incoming transmission, followed immediately by Denise's voice. "Administrator, I've been reviewing findings with Connie regarding potential portal research activities on Earth." "Go ahead," Jay subvocalized. "We've analyzed global research patterns focusing on technologies potentially related to portal development, specifically tunnel diode effects, quantum entanglement, large crystal growing, and related fields." Connie's voice joined in, her tone carrying the slight formality that distinguished her from Denise. "We found no significant increase in research publications, patent applications, or funding allocations in these areas beyond normal scientific progression." "What about financial indicators?" Jay asked. "No unexplained money movements that would indicate black research programs," Denise confirmed. "We've monitored all known military and intelligence budgets for unusual allocations." "Thermal signatures?" Mitchell asked, joining the conversation through her own implant. "We've monitored all known AI data centers," Connie replied. "No unusual activity spikes that would suggest intensive portal analysis computations. We've also conducted global infrared scanning for unregistered facilities with heat signatures consistent with high-performance computing centers. Results negative." Jay exchanged glances with Mitchell. "That doesn't make sense. Someone took that portal pair. They must be studying it somewhere." "Unless," Mitchell began, "unless it's hidden at the Himalaya site. Just hidden, because that's the last place we'd look." "The North Korean team we observed destroying our cameras," Mitchell reasoned. "They weren't looking for surveillance devices. They were clearing the area before retrieval." Jay nodded, already heading toward the exit. "That fits. They'd want to make sure we weren't watching before they moved the portal. Denise, notify the administrative team. Tell them we're proceeding on the assumption that the portal pair is at the Himalaya location." "Message sent," Denise confirmed. "What's our play?" Mitchell asked as they entered the elevator. "We move fast. Assemble a team, get to the site before they can extract the portal pair if it's still there." "Who are you taking?" Jay smiled slightly. "The Battle Dome champions, Security Team Alpha." 12 hours later, Jay stood at the entrance to the Himalayan cave, his breath forming clouds in the frigid air. Security Team Alpha, 12 men and women who dominated the Battle Dome competitions, spread out behind him, weapons ready, movements precise. Thermal scan shows multiple heat signatures inside, at least 8 individuals clustered near the back chamber where the portal was originally positioned. "Any sign they've detected us?" Jay asked.
"Negative. Their attention appears focused inward, likely on extraction procedures." Jay nodded, formulating the approach. "Team 1 with me through the main entrance. Team 2, take the southern access point we mapped during initial installation. Standard containment protocol. We want the portal intact and at least one of them alive for questioning." The team acknowledged with hand signals, splitting smoothly into their assigned groups. Jay checked his own weapon, a compact, non-lethal pulse rifle designed for close-quarters combat. Station security personnel trained specifically for capture rather than killing, though all carried sidearms with conventional ammunition as last resorts. "Move on my mark," Jay sub-vocalized into the team comm. 3, 2, 1, execute. They entered the cave in perfect formation, night vision activating automatically in the diminished light. The first chamber appeared empty, stalactites hanging like frozen daggers from the ceiling. They moved silently across the stone floor toward the narrowing passage that led to the main chamber. Jay heard them before he saw them, voices speaking rapid Mandarin, the metallic sounds of equipment being disassembled. He signaled for the team to hold position, then edged forward to get visual confirmation. In the main chamber, 8 figures worked methodically around what was unmistakably a portal frame. The arched metal doorway stood upright on a portable base, its inner surface shimmering with the faint iridescence that indicated active status. A second, identical frame lay partially disassembled nearby. Not North Koreans, after all. The operatives wore black tactical gear with no identifying insignia, but their equipment and procedures screamed professional military, Chinese special forces most likely. Jay pulled back, signaling the team forward. They would have one chance at this. Once the enemy realized they were under attack, they'd either activate the portal to escape or destroy it to prevent capture. "Team 2 in position," came the whispered confirmation through his implant. "On my mark," Jay ordered. "Non-lethal only unless they escalate. Priority is securing the portal. 3, 2, 1, go." Both teams surged forward simultaneously, pulse rifles firing in coordinated bursts. 3 of the operatives went down immediately, caught completely by surprise. The others reacted with military speed, dropping behind equipment cases and returning fire, not with non-lethal weapons, but with standard hot lead. "Taking fire," Kazan shouted as bullets pinged off the stone walls. "Permission to escalate?" "Granted," Jay confirmed, diving behind a rock formation as rounds shattered the stalactite above him. The cavern erupted in chaos. Muzzle flashes, shouted commands in multiple languages, the distinctive whine of pulse rifles mixed with the sharp crack of conventional firearms. Jay caught glimpses of his team executing their training perfectly, moving from cover to cover, laying down suppressive fire while advancing toward the portal. But something was wrong. The enemy operatives weren't falling as they should. Direct hits from the pulse rifles, designed to incapacitate by disrupting the human nervous system, seemed to only momentarily stagger them before they resumed fighting. "They're not human," Mitchell theorized through the comm. She'd remained on Station 2 as tactical support, monitoring the battle through the team's visual feeds. "Try for headshots with the pulse rifles." Jay relayed the order, adjusting his own aim. A direct hit to one operative's face caused him to stumble backward, but he recovered almost immediately, raising his weapon with mechanical precision. That's when Jay noticed it. The operative's eyes reflected their tactical lights differently than human eyes should, and his movements, while fluid, had a subtly different rhythm, like a perfect imitation that missed some indefinable human quality. "They're not human," he realized. "Mitchell, are you seeing this?" Before she could respond, the situation deteriorated further. 2 of Jay's team were downed, wounded by gunfire. The remaining 10 were pinned behind inadequate cover, unable to advance. The enemy operatives had positioned themselves between Jay's team and the portal, methodically picking apart their attack formation. Jay was calculating their rapidly diminishing options when the cave ceiling above them suddenly shuddered. Dust and small rocks rained down as a distinctive roar filled the space, the unmistakable whine of engines at full thrust power overhead. "What the hell?" Kazan shouted over the comm. The answer came almost immediately, as the northern wall of the cave exploded inward in a controlled demolition. Through the newly created opening, a sleek metallic craft hovered, oval-shaped with no visible windows or external features, except for 4 ominous barrels protruding from its underside. "Cavalry's here," came a familiar female voice through Jay's implant. "Sorry we're late to the party." Before Jay could respond, the barrels spun up and unleashed hell. The Vulcan miniguns fired at a rate that made individual shots impossible to distinguish, just a continuous roar as thousands of rounds per minute tore through the cave.
The enemy operatives were shredded in seconds, their bodies jerking unnaturally as they absorbed hundreds of rounds each. Equipment cases exploded, stalactites shattered, and one of the portal frames was torn apart by the metal storm. Just as suddenly as it had begun, the firing stopped. In the ringing silence that followed, Jay cautiously raised his head from behind his cover. The tic-tac-shaped craft had settled on the cave floor, the nose tilted up, revealing ingress and egress. Two figures emerged, a tall, athletic woman with long dark hair and Native American features, and a slender man of apparent East Indian heritage wearing a pilot's jumpsuit. "Dr. Jackson thought you might need some assistance," the man said by way of introduction. "I'm AJ. This is Kim." Kim was already moving toward the fallen enemy operatives, weapon drawn. "You've got wounded," she called out, gesturing toward Jay's injured team members. "4 of them, still alive, but they need medical attention ASAP. Jay approached cautiously, still processing the sudden intervention. "How did you know where we were?" AJ shrugged. "Dr. Jackson keeps tabs on his projects. When he realized you were walking into something nasty, he sent us to extract you." He gestured toward the ruined portal frame. "Sorry about that. Collateral damage." Jay moved to examine the destroyed frame. The elegant technology that had represented such a quantum leap forward was now just twisted metal and shattered crystal components. The second frame, however, appeared mostly intact, although it had been partially disassembled for transport. Kim had rolled one of the fallen operatives onto his back and was examining him with professional detachment. "Interesting," she said, cutting away the tactical vest. "No blood." Jay joined her, looking more closely at what should have been catastrophic wounds. Instead of torn flesh and bone, the bullets had revealed a complex interior structure of metal, synthetic fiber, and circuitry. "They're synthetics," Jay confirmed. "Advanced models, nothing like we've seen before." "That explains why your non-lethal weapons were ineffective. Can't disrupt a nervous system that doesn't exist." Lieutenant Kazan approached, her arm bleeding from a grazing wound. "Sir, Rodriguez and Connors need immediate medical evacuation. Martinez can walk, but he's lost a lot of blood." Jay looked at the remaining portal frame, then at his wounded team members. The mission parameters had changed dramatically, but the priority remained clear. His people came first. "We need to destroy the second portal. We can't transport it safely, and we can't leave it here for them to recover." "What about studying it?" Kazan asked. "That was the whole point of this mission." "We have others, and we've confirmed our suspicion. Someone is building synthetics specifically designed for operations against us." He turned to AJ. "Can your weapons target just the portal frame without bringing down the rest of the cave?" AJ nodded. "Kim can do surgical work with the miniguns. Just point to what needs to go." "Do it," Jay ordered. "Then we evacuate the wounded and take one of these synthetics with us for analysis." Kim returned to the craft, and moments later the minigun spun up again, this time firing in controlled, precise bursts that systematically destroyed the remaining portal frame while leaving the surrounding area intact. As Jay helped load his wounded team members into the surprisingly spacious interior of the Tic-Tac craft, he couldn't shake the implications of what they'd found. Not just the portal theft, but the synthetics, human-looking robots advanced enough to pass for special forces operatives, apparently designed specifically to operate against the stations. "How much room do you have for extra cargo?" Jay asked AJ, gesturing toward the synthetic bodies. "Enough for one of them. Any preference?" Jay pointed to the most intact specimen. "That one. Connors will want to take it apart piece by piece." As they secured the synthetic body and prepared for takeoff, Jay contacted Mitchell through his implant. "Mission partially accomplished. Portal frames destroyed, but we found something else. Synthetic operatives, highly advanced. We're bringing one back for analysis." "Casualties?" Mitchell asked, concern evident in her voice. "4 wounded, all stable. No KIAs on our side." He paused. "We got lucky. If AJ and Kim hadn't shown up when they did, this would have gone very differently." "Who are they exactly?" Jay glanced at the pair as they efficiently prepared the craft for departure. Dr. Jackson's insurance policy, apparently, and possibly the most important allies we've made so far. The tic-tac craft rose smoothly through the hole it had created in the cave ceiling, accelerating upward at a rate that pressed everyone back into their seats. Jay took his shuttle, with the 8 unwounded, back to the station.
They'd failed to secure the portal technology, but they'd uncovered something potentially more significant. Evidence that their opponents were deploying technology far beyond what was publicly known. Synthetic operatives, indistinguishable from humans, represented a threat level that changed all their calculations. As the craft broke through the atmosphere into the starlit blackness of space, Jay found himself wondering what other surprises their unseen adversaries might have in store. The game was evolving rapidly, the stakes escalating with each new discovery. And somewhere on Earth, someone was building an army that wasn't human at all.